Hello everyone and welcome back to Fire Emblem Heroes. Now, I know what you're thinking. Again, he's been smitten by a Fire Emblem original character, and yes, you are completely right. I do think that Jormungandr is probably one of my most awaited releases in a long while, to the point that I clicked free summon and she came. So perfectly done, I would say to the dev team. Let's ignore my 80 pulls trying to get summer odor that went nowhere, but for now we do have a new OC that I really want to do a showcase upon, because she will be in my main team replacing, I still don't know, but obviously not Gulveig and not Cedar, so probably one of the older ones. And she's a character that has a very unique model, because when she transforms, she doesn't become a snake, she becomes herself but bigger, which is why in the story video where she debuted, I did leave the battle in just to see that particular sprite, which I think is very creative. More of this intelligent system, please. Do not let Fire Emblem Heroes go without innovation like this one. Very cool innovation for me, obviously. So, everything that you need to know about the character. She just debuted in the main story of Fire Emblem Heroes, so go check out the book story if you want to know more about her. And then we do have the build, the animation, the dialogue, etc. that you always know and love from those showcases. Just as a side note, Fire Emblem Shadows is getting supports, which are basically very diluted forging bonds. And I am trying to get them steadily out. It does take a while to unlock all 3 supports, C, B, and A, so it won't be something recurring, but as soon as I get one out, I will try my best to release it. Obviously, I do have my schedule of videos, so I do have to place it one there, but just so you guys know, since I do have Heroes and Shadows, I hope that the fan bases overlap, but if they don't, know that those stories exist. Anyway, let's jump into the showcase and see what she has to say. I will be back with you in the build part.
The desire to live an easy life. So honest. So human. I am Jormungandr. What I want is simply to relax. What is it with talking? It's a lot of work, don't you think? Moving your mouth to make sounds. Sorry about that. I guess I zoned out. No need to try. Feel free to relax as much as you want. Thor. She tries so hard. Isn't it tiring? Sorry about that. I guess I zoned out. My pillow is so soft. Just hugging it puts me to sleep. The desire to live an easy life. So honest. So human.
Jormungandr Base Build Showcase. So here we are to describe what she does. Obviously she's very big, so you can expect an armored movement, and she's obviously also a beast. As I said earlier, she transforms into herself, so there is no mystical creature transformation that you can expect, but we do have some mystical stats. High HP, high attack, high def, high res, low speed. The usual from an armor type, I should say. In terms of what she does, a lot of defense stacking, damage reduction, anti-double attacks, a lot of things about tanking. We also have a save, we also have a distant counter built in into her kit, so it is a character which takes a lot of hits, especially from melee characters, but since she has distant counter, she can also take it from ranged characters. So let's start with a quick look at the weapon. Special trigger acceleration, anti-warp, very important. Then she has an effect that buffs herself and allies, 15 to all stats for herself, 5 for allies, and increases special cooldown charge, which is very good. Also gives a defense check for herself or her ally, which, if triggered, disables skills that change the priority in combat. So basically a conditional hardy bearing, which is very good. Then she has the usual plus 15 damage, damage reduction by 15, damage reduction of special by 15, and neutralizes effect that slow down her special, so anti-guard effect. Then we have the transformation, gives her distant counter and attack plus 2. Very simple, I would say, on the weapon. It is just stats, distant counter, anti-guard, then you get anti-warp, stuff like that, which is kind of easy to understand. The special, which is Armored Flare, gives her a great talent to attack and def, reduces damage by 40% and scales of defense. This is obviously very good because a great talent is a permanent buff that scales during the battle to a maximum of plus 10. So you do want her to trigger as much as you can. For a tank with save, it is something very, very easy to accomplish. Then we have a unique skill, Relax. It comes with a new buff, which is named Relax, which gives her plus 4 to all stats and grants an additional bonus based on the highest penalty on each stat between allies. So she basically buffs herself based on the debuffs on your team. She neutralizes those penalties on herself and then reduces damage from 4 attacks by 7, which is a very, very good buff to give, because it gives obviously both to herself and her allies. So it is something that you want to have in terms of support, since penalty denier buffs pure damage reduction, it is quite good. We also have Imbue, which she also gives to herself and allies, which denies deep wounds and restore HP. Obviously something that you want on tanks, but also on characters that work off restoring HP, since we do have a lot of HP check skills nowadays. Relax in general gives her plus 5 HP, makes her transform under any condition, even in either raids, and then more tame stuff. Plus 9 to all stats, unit deals plus 7 damage, reduces damage from 4 attacks by 7, and grants a special cooldown count minus 2 to unit before first attack during combat, which is very nice because Armor Blaze is for cooldown. So you have minus 1 here, then plus 1 special cooldown charge from the buff, and then plus 2 from minus 2 from here. So you get basically the special on all the time, which makes sense since you do want to stack up the great talent buffs. Those two skills here we already seen before. Iron Fighter is actually insane, however, so let me remind you. This one not only debuffs the foe, deals damage based on res and reduces damage based on def. Sorry, I'm not sure why I said res. Def, scaling, damage reduction, and attack. Makes a guaranteed follow-up during combat, which fixes her slow speed, but also gives her this. If foe initiates combat and she passes a defense check, and if the number the foe has traveled is higher than 4, or if it is minus 3, but it is the first attack of the foe, she reduces to 1 the follow-up attack of the foe, which is insane for a tank. So basically, to recap, since this is always a word maze to travel through, you get attacked, the foe has traveled from 4 spaces away, follow-up attack is 1. You get attacked. It is the first attack of the foe, but it has traveled only 3 or less. The follow-up attack is 1. For a tank, this is insane. Incredibly good fighter skills. And then we have Savior. Savior makes her tank for another unit if an attack is incoming, which is always nice for tanks. Overall, this is a character that honestly comes with a pretty tight package. If you need a defense tank and also a character with pretty powerful buffs, especially the new buff Relax, but also the stats buff, etc., are also pretty good to have. I think as a generalist tank she's extremely good, so make sure to get her also because the model is insane and I really like the character. So this showcase is less about the build and more about me loving the character, which is rare, but we do it sometimes. Anyway, thank you very much for watching the build showcase. Now we have the gameplay showcase, so enjoy her transformed form, but make sure to also smash that like and subscribe button, and if you want to support the channel more, to use the super thanks or the join feature, that really help. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next showcase next time. Enjoy the gameplay showcase.
Yes. Whatever you need. No. I will hide in shadow. Well... Time to decompress. Let's unwind. Careful. Watching over you. I will hide in shadow. Do your best. Well... Watching over you. I'll scare them off. I'm scared! Which way? Nice and easy. Just relax. Yes. No. Don't lose. Careful. Do your best. Whatever you need. Mind if I wait? Ah! I'm scared. I shall deliver. Well... Let's unwind.